The railroad industry is typically known as a male-dominated one, but there are more women hopping on board, helping companies innovate and progress with the diversified vision. Currently, the T&W Corporation has 8 female employees, including the 2 trailblazers you're about to meet, who made history becoming the first women in their respective positions. I had the chance to catch up with them as our Working on the Railroad series continues. Historically, the railroad industry hasn't been known to have many women in positions of employment.
It's getting better, but no, there's not a lot.
Amber Farley is the superintendent of operations for the Texas Northwestern Railway and the first female superintendent in the history of the T&W Corporation, who owns TX&W. Farley came to the TX&W after a 16-year career at BNSF.
I started in Winslow, Arizona as a conductor. I transferred to management after 8 years, and then I traveled from Arizona to Kansas City, Missouri. Then I made it up to La Junta, Colorado, and then I made it to TX&W in Dumas, Texas.
As superintendent, Farley oversees every department and employee at the Sunray Terminal.
You know, I've worked in all kinds of different industries, just being an accountant.
Ayanna Smith is controller for the T&W Corporation, the first woman and the first minority to hold the position in the company.
What drew me to railroading specifically was, you know, the history of the railroad, you know, how interesting it is once you start digging into it and realize that, you know, our entire economy is based on what the railroads are doing.
She's been with T&W nearly 8 years and oversees its operational accounting. Her transition to the rail industry, unlike anything she'd done before.
You're dealing with, you know, billing customers and expenses and things like that, and making sure that the accounting is correct. And part of that is understanding what the people out in the field, the railroaders, are actually doing.
But while relatively uncommon, women working on the railroad isn't unheard of. According to industry historians, in the 1800s, women telegraph operators maintained orders which kept trains on time and on track. By December 1941, when the U.S. entered World War II, 13 million women were part of the American workforce, 250,000 of which were working on American railroads in various capacities when the war ended in 1945. Fast forward to more recent times, and according to Union Pacific, since 2000, the number of women in management positions in American railroads has increased by more than 30%.
It's an amazing industry. It has a phenomenal benefit package. It has the best railroad retirement. I mean, railroad retirement's the way to go. Anybody that can get on should.
We're told the number of women holding executive railroad positions has more than doubled as qualified women move up the management ranks into senior leadership.
Being in a room with, you know, the majority males, for me, is no longer intimidating, just because, you know, I know that I deserve to have a seat at the table just like they do.
Industry experts say the number of minority women on U.S. railroads has doubled since 2000, representing more than 24% of all women working on the railroad. The number of women in operating roles, including train, engine, and yard employees, lays at about 3%.
There are so many avenues as far as having a career in the railroad industry. You know, we've got legal, we've got engineering, there's technology.
Farley and Smith both love the railroad lifestyle, and they say if you want to work for the railroad, go for it, especially with smaller companies like the T&W Corporation.
You don't have to worry about what am I going to do with my children. This is conducive to have a life. And for women, this is powerful. You don't have to rely on anybody to take care of you, to take care of your kids. You can have it all.
Now, while trains, of course, operate on rails, Smith tells us her career goals are sky high. She aspires to become the Vice President of Finance for the T&W Corporation. As for Farley, she tells us she truly loves her job and can't say enough good things about the folks she works with every day. To see the rest of the stories in our Working on the Railroad series, you know where to go, myhighplains.com.